we're going to be reviewing our dailies for today, and we'll be starting, of course, with Daily Trust. And then the bolder headline says 2027 pushback as Northeast APC endorses Tinubu Shettima. You can find that story on page 3 and 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Just above the bolder headlines, we have family losses 23 members as many killed in Benue attack. You can read the full story on page 5 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And then also we have Dangote to begin nationwide petrol diesel distribution August 15. And that story can be found on page 25 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And then also we have farmers, experts, Flay Agric Ministries call for prayers, fasting. You can find that story on page 37 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Do well to grab yourself a copy of the Daily Trust newspaper for more news.
All right, joining us to review some of the headlines on the pages of today's newspaper we're reviewing is Ben Chamang, former director, News, Voice of Nigeria. You're welcome, sir. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
All right, looking at the bold headline on Daily Trust, we have 2027 pushback as Northeast APC endorses Tinubu and Shettima. There was a whole debacle, a whole, disagreement that went on that even went down to blows. So what do you think about, the pushback as the Northeast, endorses Tinubu, and it seems like they were not endorsing Shettima?
Yeah, I think I'll call it testing the deep waters, or testing the water to see how deep it is. And they've actually seen that the water is really not shallow based on what took place in Gombe. Here you are, someone moving a motion that Tinubu should be adopted. You didn't say Tinubu and Shettima. And so the pro-Shettima group disrupted that meeting, and it was then there was sense being put or injected into the organizers. And suddenly it became Tinubu Shettima ticket 2027. So it shows that some people probably are saying that Tinubu should shop for another person, and some people are insisting that it has all the while been a joint ticket. What would be the offense of Shettima that he cannot run with Tinubu come 2027? And some people again will be saying, is it going to be Muslim ticket or Muslim Christian ticket? So all these are coming to play, and the time is now, and that is why the testing, like I said, how deep the water is. In other words, how deep-rooted are Nigerians in terms of opinion and what they want. But in all, I think that a peaceful Nigeria is more than who is occupying and from what region.
But then when it comes to, the endorsement of Tinubu and Shettima, as you said, they're supposed to be on the same ticket, Tinubu and Shettima. But so far, what we've been seeing is that each and every endorsement just, outlines Tinubu. Where is Shettima going to, be involved, or is he even going to be involved on the same ticket in the next election? Do you have a projection?
Yeah, I think that APC should not allow what happened between Obasanjo and Atiku to come to bear. You could see that they started Obasanjo went for Atiku, who was already he had already won the governorship ticket for Adamawa State. But Obasanjo said, no, don't be the governor, come and let's move Nigeria together. So they ran that together, but somewhere along the line, they fell apart. And up to now, they've not found their bearing. So if that is a very big A-level school for APC, it is time for them to learn the art of making a mistake, the art of correcting those mistakes based on Obasanjo Atiku ticket. So when people are just saying we endorse Tinubu, Tinubu, are you saying that Shettima is not a factor? He is a factor. That is one. Two, religion is a factor. And so I believe that APC is probably going back to the drawing boards after this Gombe encounter to ensure that the crisis that is brewing is nipped to the bud. Because if it's not done that way and it goes on, of course, El Rufai will have the last laugh. Said, I told you, it's not a political party, it's just a meeting of unlike minds, and they cannot deliver. And that will be a very big push backward to APC.
All right.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's look at one of the headlines making waves, which is family losses 23 members as many killed in Benue attack. You would agree with me that the violence in Benue state is becoming unbecomable. So what are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, the way and manner, the abrupt way in which people all over the country reacted when you had the killing in Urome, one would have thought that this is what will happen in Benue State. You also have a situation where the president told the chief of army staff, move to Benue. General Loede simply visited the place and returned. And the crisis still continues. Therefore, the perpetrators will tend to believe that they are above the Nigerian state, they are above the Nigerian military, and that's the symbol of strength of Nigeria. Above that, in terms of making politics out of this game, or out of this crisis, it's like Benue State has just been left all on its own. Whatever you do there, you do there. And here you are, talking of Minister of Agric, telling farmers, telling those herders, go and pray. The same minister, I have always seen him move. He has a convoy, security men in front, security men behind him. And if he knows there is God or Allah, he should also do away with those security men and simply be moving without anybody. In fact, he should drive himself. So why will you tell farmers or those being attacked, just keep on praying? Yes, we know there is God. We know there is Allah. We pray and also get security physically done so to ensure that we live. There's no point. How can a whole family of 23 within an hour they're wiped away? These people will come and operate for how many hours? And when you hear people saying they call for a kind of for the security agencies to go to their rescue, but they never saw any. And in the daytime, you now go to look for what you call exhibit. What kind of exhibit do you want? And you are interrogating the people. Who do you think they are? How many have you ever been arrested? I think it's not too good in terms of security for Benue State, for Nigeria, and all that. The killing spree is just not it. Be it Muslim, be it Christian, Tiv Jukun, be it Idoma or Igede or whatever tribe. These things are just not it. It's not the best of times for Nigeria. And no wonder America will say that Nigeria is just not the best thing that will happen to humanity. And that's why they even trying to do a clamp down on visa possession to go to America. You know that we should stay and resolve our problems. And in trying to resolve our problems, that is where we need to have our leadership to be on board. whatever you promise you give the Nigerian people, you said you give security, education, health, and of course, they are paramount. We need security to do any other thing. Even the investors, this Benue crisis will just tell you that, look, Nigeria is not an investment climate. So no matter how you pretend that it is okay that they can come on board, they'll tell you, no, what about Benue? What about Zamfara? What about Sokoto? You know, they tell you all of these things. So it's time for us to collectively fight this insecurity to a standstill.
All right. This particular headline on Daily Trust, it says Dangote to begin nationwide petrol, diesel distribution in August 15th. What is your take on that?
Yes, he has to expand his economic empire. He will not stay in Lagos alone. Of course, he has to spread around. And by the time the railway system also come to work, I'm sure at the point you see the railway tracks from Dangote petrol refinery joining the federal government on, the way he did in Obajana, where he had to tar some roads to ensure that lifting of cement and all that from Kogi State here is done seamlessly. In the same way, you see that the trains, the moment they come on board, the trailers will be here and there. There are filling stations that hardly can get fuel from NNPC depot. So Dangote will seize the opportunity and do their stockpiles there. And that is when you have the real competition. Even when Dangote had not spread that far, you can see that he's a factor at the point he brings down the prices of petrol per liter, and the Nigerian government via NNPC will have to also follow Dangote. In other words, he's taking the lead, NNPCL is following. So we're hoping that it's going to be good for the economy. If we have very nice competition like this, it's going to be the best. Without a kind of a cutthroat competition that was about to take place when people were saying Dangote petrol was substandard, was this, was that. And Dangote is here to give, in fact, he's performing almost like a politician, even when he's in business.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bem, for joining us this morning and for sharing your thoughts on the headlines that we have on Daily Trust. It's always a pleasure having you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here.
Awa?
All right. Unfortunately, that is all we have for today. With that, we've come to the end of Daybreak on Trust Television. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning by 8 a.m. So that you don't miss out on another Daybreak morning show. I am Hawa Adamikiawa, and I always say, be the change you wish to see in the world. Have a wonderful day.
And I am Yumina Bagodo. It was such a pleasure doing this with you today. We'll catch you same time tomorrow. Do have a lovely day. And just like Hawa said, be the change that you want to see. Bye-bye.